In this tribute video, we honor the American legends who have passed away today and in recent days. Welcome back to Movie Newscast. These remarkable individuals made lasting contributions to their fields, and we sadly say goodbye to them. Our heartfelt condolences go out to their families and fans. As we remember their legacies, we invite you to show your support by giving this video a thumbs up if their lives or work have touched you in any way. Your gesture is a sign of respect and remembrance. Scott Thorson, Liberace's lover and key witness in Wonderland Murders trial, dies at 65. Scott Thorson, the former lover of Liberace and a key witness in the trial for the 1981 killings known as the Wonderland Massacre, died in Los Angeles on August 16. He was 65 and was a patient at a Los Angeles healthcare facility. Thorson had been suffering from cancer and a heart condition. Thorson, who later legally changed his name to Jess Marlowe, brought a $113 million palimony lawsuit against Liberace in 1982 that attracted a great deal of media attention. After the suit was filed, Liberace continued to deny he was gay and stated in court depositions that Thorson was never his lover. The case was settled in 1986. Thorson received $75,000 cash, as well as 3 cars and 3 pet dogs, valued at $20,000. Liberace died in 1987 of HIV/AIDS-related ailments. In 1988, Thorson published Behind the Candelabra, My Life with Liberace, a memoir about his time with Liberace. It included claims that the entertainer paid for Thorson to get plastic surgery, including a nose job and a chin implant, that made him look like a younger version of Liberace. During their 6-year relationship, Thorson was part of Liberace's Las Vegas act, appearing as his chauffeur, a gig that included driving the entertainer onto the stage, while outfitted in a rhinestone-encrusted uniform. Their relationship ended after Thorson got more heavily into drugs. He said Liberace bore some responsibility for his addiction, claiming that he began to abuse drugs after being prescribed Quaaludes, amphetamine, cocaine, and Demerol during recovery from the plastic surgery he underwent at the performer's request. Thorson struggled with alcohol and drug abuse throughout his life and had multiple brushes with the law, including receiving a 4-year prison sentence in 2008 after pleading guilty to felony drug and burglary charges. Phil Jones dies. Longtime CBS News correspondent who reported on Vietnam, Watergate, politics was 87. Phil Jones, who as a CBS News correspondent covered some of Washington's most momentous political battles, including Watergate and President Bill Clinton's impeachment, has died. He was 87. The network said that Jones died over the weekend in Florida. Watch a CBS News tribute reel below. Jones began his career at an Indiana TV station before leaving to work at WTKO TV in Minneapolis for 7 years. He was one of the first local reporters to go to Vietnam in 1965, and he later returned, according to the Indiana Journalism Hall of Fame. He joined CBS News in 1969. He was recognized with an Emmy for his work covering Vietnam and, according to the network, was among the correspondents known as Cronkite's Kids, the team of reporters who were proteges to then-anchor Walter Cronkite. Jones was present on the White House lawn as Richard Nixon resigned and left on Marine One, and then covered the administration of his successor, Gerald Ford. As Douglas Brinkley wrote in his biography of Cronkite, Jones was part of a first-rate CBS evening news lineup in the mid-1970s, perhaps even hitting a high mark with its team. Some media critics credited the success of the CBS Evening News to the excellence of the roving correspondents rather than to the anchor, Brinkley wrote. Jones had been transferred to Washington in 1972, covering legal aspects of Watergate from the federal court building. The next year, he was working a Saturday shift when he was assigned to do a story on a day in the life of Ford, then just designated to be the next vice president after Spiro Agnew resigned. He recalled in an interview in 2009 for the Gerald Ford Foundation. "So I showed up like at 5:30, 6 o'clock in Alexandria at the Ford home, and stood out there and waited for something to happen with Jerry Ford. And that's when I first met him. I traveled with him for the next 10 months, spent more time with him than I did my own family. And then when he became president, I moved to the White House." Rob the Rabbit Pitts. NETFLAX dead at 45. Rob the Rabbit Pitts, star of Netflix's Tex-Mex Motors, has died after a battle with stomach cancer, Tims has confirmed. The car salesman said farewell in a YouTube video titled "This Is Goodbye," RIP 7/27/79 to 8/25/24. And his videographer confirmed his death in the comments, writing, "I am with him now in hospice." He just passed at 21:45 on 8/25/2024. He will be missed, and we will never forget him. In his text-based farewell video, Rob shared he felt off and started experiencing symptoms like weight loss and acid reflux while filming Tex-Mex Motors Season 2, which his doctors finally diagnosed as stomach cancer. Rob explained since his diagnosis, things have been tough while he's been receiving treatment at home, with more bad days than good. Pitt's family said in a statement, "Since Robbie's passing, the outpouring of support for the family has been incredible. We are not surprised that his stories touched so many. We had no idea of the depth of each connection he made. We wish to thank his friends and fans for keeping these memories alive and showing the impact of the work he did that always came from his heart." Sid Vicious, WrestleMania star and WWF champion, dies at 63. He paved the way for so many of us. Wrestler Sidney Udy, aka Psycho Sid and Sid Justice, has died of cancer, his son Gunnar Udy announced on August 26. Two-time WWF champion Sid Vicious has died. He was 63. The pro wrestler's son Gunnar Udy announced the death of his dad, born Sidney Udy, in a Facebook tribute on Monday, August 26. "I am deeply saddened to share that my father, Sid Udy, has passed away after battling cancer for several years," Gunnar wrote about Sid, who was also known in the ring as Psycho Sid and Sid Justice. "He was a man of strength, kindness, and love, and his presence will be greatly missed." People reached out to Gunnar Udy for further comment. Tributes to the WrestleMania star flowed in from the WWE, former WWF wrestlers, and fans, detailing Sid's impact on the wrestling community. Shawn Michaels, who once hired Sid as a bodyguard before competing against him for the WWF Championship title, was saddened by the news. "An unforgettable presence, and it can't be overstated how big of a role he played in creating the Heartbreak Kid. His work, legacy, and influence will inspire our business for generations to come," Michaels, 59 and retired, said in a statement on X. Psycho Sid first became a WWF champ in November 1996 by defeating Michaels. After losing the title to Michaels a few months later in a rematch, Sid reclaimed the title in February 1997 from Bret Hart. Fellow retired wrestler Booker T also shared a message about Sid's legacy. "Without Sid Vicious, I don't think my brother and I would have made it to WCW." Booker T, 59, wrote on X, "His impact on this business was undeniable, and he paved the way for so many of us. My deepest condolences to his family during this difficult time." The World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE, formerly WWF, posted a black and white photo of Sid emblazoned with WWE Remembers on it via X. WWE is saddened to learn that Sid Udy has passed away, the WWE said. The WWE extends its condolences to Udy's family, friends, and fans. Sid's son added that Sid's memorial service details will be shared soon, but for now, we appreciate your thoughts and prayers as we grieve this loss. Rachel Lillis, Pokémon voice actor, dead at 46. Rachel Lillis voiced the Pokémon characters of Misty and Jessie in the animated series based on a video game. Rachel Lillis, the talented voice actor known for her roles in several English-dubbed Pokémon films and television series, died on Saturday, August 10, after a courageous battle with breast cancer. She was 46. The news of her passing was confirmed by her family. "With a heavy heart, I regret to say that Rachel has passed away," her sister, Lori Orr, shared on a GoFundMe page. "She passed peacefully Saturday night, without pain, and for that we are grateful. She is with God, the angels, and family that has passed before her, surrounded by infinite love." Lillis began her voice acting career in the 1990s and quickly became a beloved figure in the world of anime and video games. She had notable roles in Hunter x Hunter and Super Smash Bros. She is perhaps best known for her iconic characters in the original Pokémon anime series. Lillis brought to life Misty, the fiery gym leader, Jessie, one half of the mischievous Team Rocket duo, and Jigglypuff, the adorable yet formidable singing Pokémon. In addition to her work on the Pokémon TV series, Lillis lent her voice to several Pokémon films, including Pokémon, the first movie, Pokémon, the movie 2000, Mutual Returns, Spell of the Unknown, Pokémon Forever, and Pokémon Heroes, among others. Veronica Taylor, who voiced the lead character Ash Ketchum in the Pokémon series, paid tribute to her friend and co-star in a heartfelt post on X. "It is with a very heavy heart that I share the news of the passing of Rachel Lillis," Taylor wrote. "Rachel was an extraordinary talent, a bright light that shone through her voice whether speaking or singing." Taylor continued, "She will be forever remembered for the many animated roles she played, with her iconic performances as Pokémon's Misty and Jessie being the most beloved." Rachel was so thankful for all the generous love and support that was given to her as she battled cancer. "It truly made a positive difference." Reflecting on their long friendship, Taylor shared, "I was lucky enough to know Rachel as a friend. She had unlimited kindness and compassion, even until the very end. She had a great sense of humor, was wonderful to be with, incredibly intelligent, and had such a memory. She worked hard and cared deeply. I am not sure how this very dark void will be filled now that her light no longer shines in it." Angel Salazar, Scarface actor, dead at 68. The actor was known for his role as Chi-Chi in Scarface. Angel Salazar, known for his role as Chi-Chi in Scarface alongside Al Pacino, has died. He was 68. Anne Wingsong, Salazar's friend and longtime rep, told TMZ that actor died in his sleep at a friend's home in Brooklyn, New York, over the weekend. The actor's friend went to check on him Sunday morning and found his body. Wingsong told TMZ that Salazar suffered from heart issues, though no cause of death has been revealed just yet. Salazar is being remembered across social media by his famous friends and fans. Musician Tito Puente Jr. took to Instagram to share a series of photos and mourn the loss. "Rest in peace, Angel Salazar, Chi-Chi. You were an amazing actor and good friend, hermano. From Scarface to Carlito's Way, your characters and comedy will be forever missed." Salazar starred alongside Pacino in 1983's Scarface. In the film, he played Chi-Chi, Tony Montana's best friend and right hand. In addition to his role in the gangster film, Salazar and Pacino worked together in Carlito's Way. The veteran actor's other credits include Hot to Trot, Harlem Blues, and The Black Caesar. Salazar also starred in a host of comedy specials and appeared on Last Comic Standing. Salazar's last comedy performances were earlier this month at Silver Legacy Resort Casino in Reno, Nevada. Leonard Riggio, who forged a book-selling empire at Barnes & Noble, dead at 83. New York AP, Leonard Riggio, a brash, self-styled underdog who transformed the publishing industry by building Barnes & Noble into the country's most powerful bookseller, before his company was overtaken by the rise of Amazon.com, has died at age 83. Riggio died Tuesday following a valiant battle with Alzheimer's disease, according to a statement issued by his family. He had stepped down as chairman in 2019 after the chain was sold to the hedge fund Elliott Advisors. His leadership spanned decades, during which he not only grew the company but also nurtured a culture of innovation and a love for reading, reads a statement from Barnes & Noble. Riggio's near half-century reign began in 1971 when he used a $1.2 million loan to purchase Barnes & Noble's name and the flagship store on Lower Fifth Avenue in Manhattan. He acquired hundreds of new stores over the next 20 years, and in the 1990s, launched what became a nationwide empire of superstores that combined a chain's discount prices and massive capacity with the cozy appeal of couches, reading chairs, and cafes. Bookselling and family often overlapped for Riggio. His brother Steve Riggio served for years as vice chairman of Barnes & Noble, and another brother, Vincent Jimmy Riggio, helped run a trucking company that shipped the store's books. After being interviewed in 1974 by the trade publication College Store Executive, Leonard Riggio met for coffee with the editor Louise Gebbia, who 7 years later became his second wife. Riggio had 3 children, 2 with his first wife, 1 with his second. Leonard S. Riggio was the eldest son of a prize fighter who twice defeated Rocky Graziano, turned cab driver and a dressmaker. Even in childhood, he advanced quickly, skipping 2 grades and attending one of the city's top high schools, Brooklyn Tech. He studied metallurgical engineering at New York University's Knight School before focusing on commerce, and by day absorbed the bookselling world and the rising cultural rebellion of the 1960s. Working as a floor manager at the campus bookstore, he learned enough to drop out of school and start a rival shop in 1965, SBX, Student Book Exchange, where he allowed student activists to use the copying machine to print copies of anti-war leaflets. SBX was so successful he bought several other campus stores and was in position by 1971 to buy Barnes & Noble and its single Manhattan store. A few years later, he became the rare bookseller to run television commercials with the catchphrase, "Barnes & Noble." Of course, of course. Riggio and the independent community may have seemed to hold opposing values, but they shared a love of reading and the arts and a liberal political outlook. He was a generous philanthropist and a prominent supporter of Democratic politicians. He was even friendly with the consumer activist and presidential candidate Ralph Nader, who featured Riggio, Ted Turner, and Yoko Ono, among others, in his 2009 novel Only the Super Rich Can Save Us, in which Nader imagines a progressive revolution from above. Ever since he was a boy from Brooklyn, he'd had a visceral reaction to the way working stiffs and the poor were treated on a day-to-day basis. Nader wrote of Riggio, who did at times stand apart from his management peers. When some 200 business leaders were questioned by Fortune magazine in the 1990s about their political ideas, only Riggio supported the raising of worker pay. "Money can become a burden, like something you carry on your shoulders," he told New York Magazine in 1999. "My nature is to be a ball buster, but my role is to help people." This story has been updated to correct the names of Riggio's second wife and one of his brothers. They are Louise Gebbia, not Luis Altavilla, and Vincent Jimmy, not Thomas. Warriors Al Attles. Dead at 87, he was Mr. Warrior. Al Attles, a longtime member of the Golden State Warriors organization, has passed away, the team announced Wednesday. He was 87 years old. According to the organization, he died surrounded by his family in his East Bay home. Nicknamed the Destroyer, Attles spent his entire professional career with the same team, being drafted to the Philadelphia Warriors in 1960. On March 2, 1962, he shared the court with Wilt Chamberlain when the center dropped 100 points, contributing 17 of his own. Over the course of his 11-year career, Addles averaged 8.9 points, 3.5 assists, and 3.5 rebounds per game. Following his playing days, he transitioned into a coaching role with the Warriors, serving as their assistant coach from 1968 to 1970 and head coach until 1983. He helped guide the squad to an NBA championship in 1975, as the Warriors swept the Washington Bullets in 4 games. Alvin Addles did not just epitomize what it meant to be a Warrior, he was Mr. Warrior, the team said in a statement. His tenacious playing style earned him the affectionate nickname of the Destroyer on the court, but it was his gentle soul, grace, and humility off the court that served as a guiding light for the organization for more than 6 decades. He earned his spot in the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 2019, and also earned the John R. Bunn Lifetime Achievement Award back in 2014. My Kitchen Rules star, 46, found dead. Michael Murray, a former Mr. New Zealand and star of the 2024 season of My Kitchen Rules, has been found dead. My Kitchen Rules New Zealand contestant Michael Murray has tragically passed away, according to reports. Murray, 46, competed in the 2024 season of the popular cookery show alongside his cousin Picky Knapp. An extended family member confirmed his death on Monday afternoon. However, his cause of death has yet to be revealed. It's a shock to all those who know him, the relative who asked not to be named told The Sun. On their official bio for the reality TV cooking show, Murray and Knapp said they shared a love of cooking for friends and family. On the show, Murray said he was a huge fan of Jamie Oliver, adding that he was set on being a mighty kitchen ninja. He said, "I possess a magnetic energy, agility, precision, and an unassuming personality." During his time on the show, Murray was told he was an extremely talented and unique young man. Before his time on the cookery series, Murray spent 12 years in Mexico, where he worked on telenovela soap operas and did small stints on other shows. He returned to New Zealand following the COVID-19 pandemic. He previously told the New Zealand Herald, "My background is modeling and acting. I was Mr. New Zealand back in 2005, and that's what took me overseas and eventually to Mexico. Obviously, I'm not Mexican, but they thought I was Latino. I did some great work there, then to come home and be a part of this whole journey with MKR is a blessing in disguise. I've always put my hand up to opportunity." When his time on the cookery show came to an end, Murray released a statement thanking those who had supported him along his journey. "Picky and I would like to thank all our Wana friends and supporters who helped and participated in our MKR journey. We had a blast. Obviously, we enjoyed the Kai and meeting Colin Fastnage and Manu Fieldle. Special thanks to the other contestants, who are fantastic cooks and lovely people." He continued, "What you see on Tell is just a small taste of who we all are as individual personalities. We are proud to say that everybody on this show are fabulous humans. We learned a lot, we are grateful for the opportunity, and while we did not perform our best, we gave it a go." Phil Donahue dies. Groundbreaking TV talk show host was 88. Phil Donahue, the longtime host of the trend-setting TV talk show The Phil Donahue Show, died Sunday evening following a long illness, surrounded by family including his longtime wife, actor Marlo Thomas. He was 88. His death was announced on the Today Show this morning. Today shared a statement from Donahue's family. See the announcement below. Calling Donahue a daytime staple who pioneered a format that had been replicated by others. Today hosts noted that Donahue had been presented a Presidential Medal of Freedom by President Joe Biden just this summer. Donahue was married to Thomas for more than 40 years, having met when the That Girl star met Donahue when she was a guest on his talk show. The family statement reads, "Groundbreaking TV talk show journalist Phil Donahue died Sunday night at home, surrounded by his wife of 44 years, Marlo Thomas, his sister, his children, grandchildren, and his beloved golden retriever Charlie. Donahue was 88 years old and passed away peacefully following a long illness. Donahue was born December 21, 1935, in Cleveland, and in the late 1950s embarked on a career as a radio journalist at first in his hometown and then Adrian, Michigan. But it was his TV work in Dayton, Ohio, that truly launched not only Donahue's career, but what would become a novel and highly influential style of daytime talk TV. In 1959, he was hired as a TV reporter at Dayton's WHIO, where his empathetic style of interviewing was first noticed by the public and his bosses. Within 4 years, he also had a radio call-in show called Conversation Piece for WHIO's affiliated radio station. Within several more years, he had taken his talk endeavor to TV, hosting a business show and co-anchoring the evening news. In 1967, he was scooped up by a competing Dayton station, WLWD, who offered him a daytime morning interview show with a studio audience. With a studio audience that was treated by Donahue with respect, the host would make his way through the seats and hand over the mic to audience members with questions for guests. The Phil Donahue Show became a Dayton area staple and favorite. Donahue is regarded as an early advocate for women, giving his largely female audience the opportunity to speak and ask questions on serious topics rather than the home ec subjects that so many daytime talkers focused on. His Medal of Freedom biography also mentions some highlights of Donahue's show: Milton Friedman deciphering arcane economics, Nelson Mandela decrying apartheid, Gloria Steinem introducing a new era of activist feminism, and Muhammad Ali speaking out on race, religion, and sports. Donahue was, the bio states, the first TV host to feature a person living with AIDS when the number of cases was only in the hundreds. Most important, the bio continues, Donahue recognized the unmatchable power of his medium and fought to ensure that his legions of viewers, whether seated in his studio or calling in with questions from their homes, were part of the critical dialogue that brought people together. When consumer advocate Ralph Nader, author of Unsafe at Any Speed, came onto the show to talk about automobile safety, Donahue also brought on the recently retired president of General Motors so that viewers could witness the debate firsthand and decide for themselves exactly what was at stake when they climbed behind the wheel of the family wagon. In 1986, Donahue became the first Western journalist to visit the Chernobyl nuclear power plant after its catastrophic event that year, and in 1992 he invited Bill Clinton and George H.W. Bush onto the same episode so that they could speak with each other and viewers in an effort to articulate their differences. After 29 years in syndication and 5 years in retirement, Donahue returned to television with a program on MSNBC. The Medal of Freedom statement reads, less than 6 months into the run, during the ramp-up to the Iraq War, he began bringing on guests who were denouncing the planned U.S. invasion, including former U.S. generals. He was the first and only journalist at the time to open that discussion. Today, historians, the journalistic establishment, and most of the American public have come around to Donahue's way of thinking, rejecting the Iraq War as a tragic mistake. Survivors include wife Thomas. Survivors include his children Michael, Daniel, Kevin, and Mary Rose, and a sister. Another son, Jim, died at 51 in 2014 of an aortic aneurysm. Donahue's family requests that donations be made to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital or the Phil Donahue/Notre Dame Scholarship Fund in lieu of flowers. John Aprea, Godfather Part 2 and Full House actor, dies at 83. John Aprea, whose acting career landed him roles on Godfather Part 2 and Full House, died on August 5 of natural causes in Los Angeles. He was 83. His death was confirmed by Will Levine, Aprea's manager. Born in 1941 to Italian immigrants in Inglewood, NJ, Apria spent part of his early years in Italy before his family resettled back in the States. In the early 1960s, he set out to pursue his passion, acting, enrolling in Joshua Shelley's acting classes, who also taught Mia Farrow and Jon Voight in New York. Eventually, he would land a role in the 1968 Steve McQueen classic film Bullitt, playing Killer. After his splashy debut, Apria found acting work on sets for the 1970s TV series Mannix, the 1970s film The Grasshopper, and Jonathan Demme's 1974 feature Caged Heat. John's career took off when he was cast as the young Tessio in Francis Ford Coppola's The Godfather Part II. Before taking on the role, he reportedly reached out to Abe Vigoda, who played the older version of the character in the first film, for advice. According to his manager, Vigoda's response, "I don't know what I did. Just have a good time, kid," became a guiding principle for John's career. After a lead role in the 1975 comedy TV series The Montefuscos, centered around the weekly Sunday dinners for an Italian-American family living in Connecticut, he went on to play a major role as the brother of Ray Sharkey's character in Taylor Hackford's debut film, The Idol Maker. From 1981 to 1987, Apria was a regular on the ABC series Matt Houston, playing Lieutenant Vince Novelli. He eventually returned to New York City to work on the soap opera Another World for 6 years as the character Lucas Castigliano, until his character was killed off. During this time, Apria would also earn a Soap Opera Digest Award nomination for Outstanding Villain in a primetime series for his role on Knots Landing. Apria also played the father of John Stamos' character Uncle Jesse on Full House, and recently reprised this role for the Netflix reboot. The actor continued working late into his career, including playing Don Armatio in the 1991 feature New Jack City, directed by Mario Van Peebles, and landing roles on NYPD Blue, CSI, and The Sopranos. Apria was predeceased by his sister, Rosanna Soule. He is survived by his wife and partner of 25 years, Betsy Gracie, his daughter Nicole from a previous marriage, and his stepchildren Marika Parker and Valentino Grassi. A private service will be held to honor his life. Drop your tribute comment towards them in the comment section. Thank you.